Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. And it's actually a Victory Monday. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about it. I am going to sing the victory song at the end of the show, okay? Because that's going to be your real treat. Because I know that's why you turned me on. Turn me on? All right, we're going to talk about the Bears and that game yesterday. It was two games, in my opinion. The first half and the second half. The first half was awful. The defense came out and stopped Tennessee 3 and out. And then they stopped them the next couple drives. And then, obviously, Tennessee made adjustments. The Bears' defense did not in the first half, and they ran all over us. They got 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and we know why they got the field goal, which we're going to talk about. But so at the half, it was 17-3. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's get into the kind of the meat of what happened yesterday. I got to tell you what. I was frickin' losing my mind in that first half. It was just like when the Bears defense came out, I thought, oh, wow, they are unstoppable after like 3 series, and then boom, it changed. I don't know what happens. The defense that first went out on that field for those first 2 or 3 series for Tennessee shut him down. I mean, he couldn't do nothing. And then all of a sudden, they made their adjustments, and bang, boom, they were running up and down the field in that first half. And so got to talk about that. And but I was losing my mind. I was so pissed. I was just pounding things. I was screaming. I was swearing. I'm like, here we effing go again. You know, all these promises, all this. And there we were looking like the old bad news Bears, really. And I am sure everybody in that stadium and everybody watching that game felt the exact same way I did. I thought, you know, and I'm not just talking about Williams. I'm not. I'm talking about that whole defense. I mean, the whole offense and the defense in that first half that just, I don't know what happened to them. They started out great, and then all of a sudden, bang, boom, whoo, they look bad. Everybody looked bad in that first half. And, again, losing my mind. And I thought, you know what? First of all, I can't afford to get any more gray hairs, and I know I got some. And when my son watched the game, I think he got some, and he's only in his 30s. But he was like me. He was like, oh, my God, here we frickin' go again. So, but as we know, the second half completely turned that game around. Completely. It was a whole new Bears team that came out. I was hoping that Flus would rip them a new one. He's not that kind of a coach, so I was pretty sure that wouldn't happen. But I got to tell you what, those Bears players, particularly on defense and special teams, stood up and took that game back. So let's do a few stats, and then we'll get into it a little bit more. So my threes, my threes. Time of possession, turnovers, and penalties. And if you win those, you've got a good chance of being in the game, if not win it. Well, the Bears proved me wrong on this one, which happens, but they lost 2 out of 3. So the time of possession, the Bears had it 25 minutes, and Tennessee had it over 34 minutes. So we lost that. We won the turnover battle because we had 3 turnovers. And we're going to talk about all who did what, but the bottom line is the defense had 2 interceptions. Number 29, Stevenson, who ran it back for a touchdown, and number 1, Jalen Johnson also scored. 29, Stevenson. I thought he did that, or did JJ? I don't know who said. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, so we had Stevenson at a interception. Jalen Johnson, number 1, had a interception, and number 92, Hardy, blocked the punt that Owens, number 36, scored for a touchdown. And in my opinion, that changed the game, which we're going to get into. Then the penalties. And I have a rule of 5 or less penalties. I hate penalties. They do exactly what I said on my show Friday. Is with the Bears offense, they'll start to get something going, and then the penalties, they go back, punt. And this happened again. So they had 7 penalties for 55 yards. Tennessee had 8 penalties for 50 yards. So it hurt both the teams. The Bears won the turnover battle, and they did have less penalties. So I guess you could say they won 2 out of 3, but I have a 5 or less penalty. But they did win 2 out of 3 and won that game. Williams, our quarterback, we know had a rough day. And I told everybody on my show Friday, let's all remember, he is a rookie and there's going to be good and bad. And it certainly showed yesterday. He showed he is a rookie and has lots to learn. The preseason when he played, you got to remember, he played against second and third string players, and those teams didn't show their hand. They're not going to do that. So you never really know. But you saw it yesterday. The Titans came after him and that offensive line, and they proved they could get to him. So he was 14 of 19 attempts for 93 yards, and he was sacked twice. Tennessee had a 27 yards passing and 145 yards rushing, and their defense had 2 sacks. We had a total of only 84 yards rushing. That rushing game looked sad. I was not impressed with Swift, number 44. He only had 30 yards. And Williams handed off to 5 other players for a total of 84 yards yesterday. I really would have liked to seen Herbert in there a little bit more. I know that they're trying because they had Jones in there. They had Herbert. They had Swift. There was somebody else. And then, of course, Williams ran too. So they all combined for 84 yards, which is not acceptable. Let me just finish these stats, and then we'll talk about the game. Moore had, as receiving yards, he had 36 receiving yards. Allen, number 13, had 29 receiving yards. You know what? The offense just looked terrible. And I will tell you that they were terrible on third down conversions. They were in a lot of that offense was in a lot of third and shorts, a lot of a lot of 5 or less, 4 or less, and they only converted 2. They were 2 out of 13 on third down conversions. That is not acceptable. Come on. You got to pick up those short down, third down conversions. You can't win in this league if you don't do it. And they were constantly battling themselves all afternoon in that part. Now, I said it was a good game, so let's start talking about the game, but it was only a good game in the second half, so we're just going to frickin' forget the first half, except for, I'm going to bring up something, and I really don't understand whose idea was it at the end of the first quarter on a kickoff from Tennessee that number 12, Jones, should go out there and catch the ball. And of course, he fucking fumbled it, and Tennessee gets the ball on really good yards, really good yards on the field. And now, if you all remember, if you're a Bears fan, you know, the last 2 years, prior years, they tried putting him, Jones, on punt returns, and he fumbled it several times. Off the top of my head, I know for sure 2, and 1 cost us the game. So what fucking idiot thought it was a good idea to put Jones out there on a kickoff? Whoever thought that should be fired, because Jones, it's not his thing. Obviously, the Bears took him off of receiving because he wasn't a good receiver. So why do you think he's going to be good at a kickoff return when he couldn't catch punts? Oh my God, I almost, I don't know, you should have seen me. I can't even say the words on this show, what I said when that happened. So ridiculous. And I read that he was benched. He was benched from kickoff returns, which he should never be out there again, ever, ever, ever. But he was back in the game in the fourth quarter running the ball, which I don't think he deserved. And you know what? The thing about, I love Poles. He's a great GM, but he has a couple problems, but one of them is he doesn't want to admit he made a mistake with Venus Jones. He drafted him in the top third round. On Poles' first year, 3 years ago, and he hasn't proven to be anything. Yes, he's showed he can run the ball, but that's a big mistake. That was just, I don't get it. And whoever's idea was that really needs to be having a talking to, okay? And it was just the most ridiculous thing. And and the other thing that Poles has a real problem with is pulling together an offensive line. It's been 3 years, and he still hasn't done it. Now, I know a lot of people, and now I think they're right, that he should have, instead of that receiver at number 9, the really good receiver we got, Roman, I think we should have gone for a offensive lineman. I'm sorry, we're in desperate need. And if you don't have a line, then your quarterback cannot do anything, and then it trickles to your running backs, and so forth and so forth. So, Poles, you've got a problem with the offensive line. Yeah, Venus Jones, I know that wasn't your idea to have him catch that kickoff, but my biggest problem with you is the offensive line. I don't know why you haven't worked more on that. So, that's a bad for you, Poles. Very bad. Okay, so we know how bad everybody looked in the first half. So the second half we come out, okay? And there was, and the thing about Williams is he looked like a rookie. I will say he did not throw an interception and he did not fumble the ball, which is great. There was one really bad sack he took, and he cannot do that, where he was trying to run around. One guy missed him, the other guy got him. They lost 29 yards. And then, of course, and of course, he gets sacked on that, and we're 29 hours. 25 pass, now 29 yards loss, and we have to punt. I mean, he's got to be smarter about that. First game, I get it, but those cannot happen. He's got to be, and then this is where the offensive line is so crucial. To his defense now, Williams, first wait, he did overthrow several guys. He overthrew Moore and Allen twice where he should have had them. They were open. He overthrew them. And then Allen, number 13, at the end of the first quarter, dropped a touchdown. So that was on Allen, not on Williams. But Williams, the problem is with that offensive line being so horrible, he never had time to set his feet and get a good throw off. Now, you've got a rookie quarterback. Your offensive line has to step up. I heard that, I read Nate Davis was removed from the game because he was so bad. Well, there's another, sorry, Poles. He got him in the offseason 2 years ago, and the guy's done shit for us. He's been hurt the whole time. It's always been one thing after another. And you know what they said? His time's running out. He's just not doing it. He didn't play well. He sucked in that games, and you can't have that. So now, great. And then our center looked horrible. The offensive line was just atrocious. They are in so much trouble if they cannot turn this around, because again, no quarterback is going to be able to produce if he turns around and then the defense is in his face already. Can't happen. So, yeah, he only had 93 yards passing, but a lot of that was on the offensive line, and some of it was on Williams. There's no doubt about it. He looked young, and we know it. But I saw a lot of crap yesterday about comparing him to Fields. First of all, everybody, Fields is not on this team anymore, and y'all need to get over it. He was not the answer. He's not going to be a great quarterback in the NFL, so shut the blank up about Fields and do not compare him to a Williams. Not even close. There are quarterbacks that had bad starts in this league, and I'm going to give you that right now. Okay, so first of all, he won his first game, and that was the first time a rookie quarterback won a game since 2002, and that was David Carr, I believe. And so it said this is the 11th worst start for a rookie quarterback since 1970. But here are the list of the worst quarterback for first-time quarterback rookies. This is their worst. Terry Bradshaw. Okay, I should say this. Williams had his passing rating was 55.7. Terry Bradshaw's was 19.3. John Elway was pulled from his first game. He made no completions. Matt Stafford was 27.4, and Troy Aikman was 40.2, and Eli Manning was 45.1. All worse than Williams. So everybody take a deep breath. The kid is young. He is talented. We know that. He is going to be all right. I'm really sure of that. So, and the only good thing, there was one good thing about that first half, was that number 11, Carter, on a punt, had a great run back of 60-something yards, 66 yards on the of a kickoff. And it gave Bears great field position, but unfortunately, they only got a field goal. So we went to the half 17-3. And I thought, no way. There's no freaking way the Bears can come back from that. So the offense had penalties, had sacks, and had to punt. That was their first half. Okay? Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But things turned around in the second half. In the second quarter, the defense came out wanting to play. Tennessee, the Bears got the ball first and did nothing with it. They went 3 and out after half, and I thought, yep, here we go. No way we're going to win this game. There's just no way. But how bad is it going to be? That was my concern then. And I was just livid, and I was already like, all right, I drank the Kool-Aid again, like I did the last 2 years, and I'm going to be so heartbroken. This is ridiculous. So I was preparing myself for a loss. But as I said, so then Tennessee got the ball next, and the defense caused a 3 and out. They had to punt. And when they punted, number 92, Hardy, blocked the punt. Number 36, Owens, ran it in. Touchdown! 17-10, and all of us things started looking a little brighter. And then things just got better and better. And then a few plays later, the defense, number 52, Taylor, who has caused a fumble, recovered it. And the Bears had just gotten Darrell Taylor, number 52, on Friday. The Bears gave a 2025 sixth-round pick to Seattle in exchange for Taylor, who spent his first full day at Hallis Hall on Saturday, 2 days ago. And this is what he said. I can already feel the energy being around this building, and getting to talk to the coaches and getting to talk to the players. I am so excited. And he feels like he's in the right place. Well, boy, he made an impact, and we're going to talk a little bit about him. So let's talk about the defense. The defense just rocked it the second half. I mean, it was just like night and day. And I heard they went into the halftime. Flus did not bitch him out really much, but the players stood up, took accountability, and said, damn it, we got this. We've got to turn it around. And the bottom line is they did. And it was because of the defense and special teams, okay? The defense had 3 sacks. Number 52, Taylor, who had just joined us on Saturday at Hallis Hall, had 2 sacks. Number 99, Dexter Sr. had 1 sack. The tackle leaders were number 45 linebacker Edwards, who had 15. Number 9, Brisker, our backfield guy, had 10. And our new guy, number 52, Taylor, had 8. These were the top 3 solo the tacklers. It was great. And I noticed even in the first half, out of all the defensive player, Brisker was everywhere. I had noticed that. Put that in my notes right away. He's already having a game. And that defense just played. I mean, the line was there was nothing they could do. I mean, nothing. So that defense, I mean, they really played lights out. I mean, they didn't let them score a single point in the second half. That is awesome, especially the way Tennessee was playing. So the Bears went in, made their adjustments, got their shit together, and came out. And that defense and special teams, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I mean, we had a great punt from our new punter. We had the run backs from Carter. It was just great. So the thing we got to talk about, I'm going to do a few standout players, and then I'm going to give a few more about what I think. So the standout players, in my opinion, on the game were Santos, number 8, our field goal kicker. He was 3 for 3 and got all the extra points. Taylor, number 52, which I already mentioned, who was just walked into Hallis Hall on Saturday, 2 days ago, had 2 sacks, and he was all over the field. JJ had a sack had an interception, number 1, Julius Jones, and number 29, Stevenson, had an interception for touchdown. And I gotta say, the only really good thing the offense did do is they came in. They kind of surprised Tennessee. They weren't prepared, and the Bears went for a 2-point conversion. Williams threw to Swift, 2 points, and that, I think, boosted the offense a lot. Like, oh, we actually scored. So they actually contributed, and and they also contributed by not turning over the ball. Okay, so that was big. They helped their defense by not doing that. So they lacked, obviously, a lot of passing, and we needed more running, but they got those 2 points when we needed it. They didn't turn the ball over. So there are some pluses there. And Williams did do some things. He made some moves when he was doing that one run to get us a first down that we desperately needed. He juked him, and that was great. Boom, got the first down. There is potential with this kid. We all know it. He just needs an offensive line around him. He's clearly got the defense. He's got the special teams. And I believe our running back team can be good, but they need the line to help them. And I want to see Herbert in there more. I don't understand. He can get you when you're on those third down conversions that we could not do, only but 2 out of 13. There were several where they were 3rd and 2 and we couldn't get him. Put Herbert in there. He is a big back that can just push the line. For God's sake, are we going to have another Gatesy as an offensive coordinator? Do we just switch, flip offensive coordinators? Send him to the Raiders, who sucked yesterday, and then now we got a shitty one again? I don't know. I'm a little concerned about that run game too, but we got to get it together because the offensive line and the running backs have to to pull it together for their rookie, number 18, Caleb Williams. He needs to help. He gets a little bit more, and we're going to see what we know. This kid is going to come around. There's no doubt about it, okay? So everybody take a deep breath and look at the small positives that they did do on offense, which was a few, okay? We know. Another standout was number 11, who had a total of 67 yards. And we signed him in June. He's been in the league 7 years. This kid should be the only one touching kickoffs and punt returns. I do know that Herbert was out there on punt returns and kickoffs, I do believe, after what Venus Jones did. Fucker. Again, whoever put him in needs to be fired on that kick return. Really. So there were some standouts, and a lot of them were surprise standouts. You got a guy you signed on Friday. He has 2 sacks and is all over the field, and he had rushes. He was everywhere. So the bottom line, we won the game. We were 1-0, and we desperately needed that. Honestly, I don't think the Bears or the fans could have handled a loss yesterday, because it would have just defeated everybody. Because everybody would have, I'm sure everybody was saying what I was saying. Here we go again, being, fooled by the Bears. But I don't think so. I really don't. We've got a defense. Sweat had a good game, even being double covered. Billings, that's the one I forgot. Billings, 97, another great game. He was good. I didn't see our rookie Austin Booker in there, the one who's supposed to be opposite Sweat on the other side, the rookie. I don't know why. Maybe they just felt he wasn't ready. He's got to earn his spot. So, but all in all, defense. It was a real team effort yesterday, and I will give Williams this. He owned it. That's something Fields, and I don't want to talk of Fields. It's the only thing I'm going to say is he never really owned up to his mistakes. It was always blah, 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 blah. But Williams yesterday owned up to it, admitted it, and said, I'm going to be better. And he said at the end of the day, stats mean nothing to me if we get a W. So, to me, and I believe it, some players say it, but I believe it with this kid because he knows he's going to get better. You know what? In the years to come, this is all going to be, he's going to be on that list with those really great quarterbacks I showed you that had their first game awful. I mean, I want to say that Peyton Manning's first year, they only won 1 game. So, you know what? Of course, we don't want that, but you know what I mean. So, we know what happened yesterday. Bottom line, it's quite clear. My brother was like, oh, I can't wait. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get that mad, except for really the first half pissed me off, and Jones touching the ball set me into another atmosphere. I'm not kidding. I was fucking losing my mind. Okay. Before we move on, it's now time to sing that god-awful victory song, okay? Now, I think we need a new one. It's from 1941, I believe, it was written, and it's time to update. I think the Bears should have a contest and put that out there for people to write a victory song, and yeah, but here we go. This is bad. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Make every play clear the way to victory. Bear down, bear down, Chicago Bears. Put up a fight with so much fearlessly. Bear down, Chicago. Oh, we'll never forget the way you thrilled the nation with your T formation. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Let them know why you're wearing the crown. What crown? You're the pride and joy of Illinois. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Isn't that awful? I can't even sing it. It doesn't sound right. So that's it. I welcome your comments. I hope you're watching. We got to win, guys. We got a lot of work to do this week, particularly, the offense has a lot of work to do, and they better get at it because they're playing Texas in Houston, Sunday night, which sucks, but because I'm not a fan of Sunday night games and Monday night games because the Bears are not very good, and this one's going to be tough. They've got a really good defense, and they've got a very good quarterback, C.J. Stroud. He is one of the only, if you look this up, because this is why, this is the last time I'm going to bring him up, Fields, I didn't want the Bears when they drafted him because Ohio State has a terrible track record with quarterbacks going to the NFL. Look it up. I'm not making it up. C.J. Stroud for Texas is the one and only, one of the few that's proven that wrong. But there's a lot that came out and didn't make it. Actually, one who was a very, very good announcer for college and now NFL is Herm. God, I can't say, what is his last name? Something Street, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. He went to Ohio State and he was a quarterback and he didn't make it in the NFL, but Herm Street. And anybody who's watched me for the 5 years know I can't pronounce names. I am awful. I murder them. That's why I give numbers more than anything. So I'm sure I just murdered his name, Kurt Herm Street, but he does both NFL and college now, and he's a great announcer, but he didn't make it, and he went to Ohio State. So, but Stroud's good. So this is going to be a real, real tough game for the Bears, and it's going to be a huge test for the Bears, and I hope they're prepared. I know the defense will be. I just worry about this offense, and that offensive line really is our number one problem. So let's hope they get their shit together. Cripe, I could play better on the offensive line. I'm 66. I've had 3 knee operations. I'm recovering from 2 months of pure hell, and I'm pretty sure I could have played better. I don't know. Of course I could play better. Anyways, so that's it. That's my show for today. That's talking about the game. I pretty much think everybody will agree with everything I said. And hopefully everyone just calms down, and we're going to give Williams, he's going to need a half a season to get it going. But at the end of the day, if he don't have an offensive line that can help him, we're fucked. Yep. All right. On that note, I will be back Friday to go over the stats and review the game, give you my opinion. And so I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching. Please tell everybody. Subscribe. Don't subscribe. Just listen. Just turn my game on every week, and I would love it because I love to be turned on. Boom, boom. See, this old lady's got some funnies left, right? Okay. And on that note, I always end my show this way. Love one and never. Love one and over. Respect people. Help people. If you're out and about and you see somebody struggling, help them out. You don't know what's going on in your life. You don't know what's happening. Smile when you see people. Say hi. I know there's a big election going on and the economy is so rough. I get it, believe me. I'm poor as shit. And but I still try to keep a positive attitude, and I like people, and I talk to people, and you know what I'm getting out there by talking to everybody, because I do talk to everybody, is all anybody wants is just to get along and be happy. And you know what? Put fucking politics aside. Who cares? Because those assholes don't care about us, okay? So let's return the favor. And just let's rally around and love one another and be kind. Just be kind. It doesn't cost you anything and it doesn't hurt. Okay? And especially Bears fans. We are a special breed. And you know what? We get it what it knows to be down and out. But it's never let us stop being a loyal Bears fan. Right? So please just be kind for me and watch my show and tell everybody about it, okay? So I will see you on Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Go Bears from Vegas, baby!